Dude. Episode 16. We're in. We're so in. The dude is because this is a podcast about pop culture by two guys who've made a YouTube career talk about movies. And the biggest pop culture event that is actually happening right now is movies. Like, the Doomsday stuff that has happened, and I'll talk to you all directly for this one, is life-altering cinematic events. And I think that's something that we're going to talk about at length today because we've been discussing here on the podcast, I know on the Cosmic Wonder channel, and probably within your friend groups, the marketing strategies that we might be seeing for Doomsday. Well, we're living them now. So we can actually kind of dive in and see what Doomsday is trying to do for us. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of other fun stuff planned throughout the episode. Thank you very much for being here. This is, of course, the CVA podcast. We're having a lot of fun. Jump into the comment section with your questions and your thoughts. We're including the audience. Jump into Discord and, of course, like and subscribe. Warren, how are your Doomsday vibes going? I know, obviously, you're excited. But now that we've gotten a real taste, a nice little amuse-bouche of Doomsday, where's your head at?
I think it's going exactly where it needs to go. I think they're doing exactly what they need to be doing right now is the thing. What's funny is someone came up to me in the gym today and was like, "Are you Warren?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Dude, I watch your stuff." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "You never know what's like gonna happen there, right?" Like,
you kissed out with my girlfriend. You kissed my girlfriend.
It's just like, I hate your face, right? Like, even if they do know who I am, there's no guarantee that they like me, right? And so like, it was cool, and we were just talking, and he was like, "It's like these it's like teaser trailers. It's like very interesting." And I was like, "Well, they're not really teaser trailers. They're like teasers for the teaser trailer." And he's like,
The teaser
"Yo,
setup.
that makes sense." He's like, "That makes sense, man." I was like, "Yeah, I mean, they're just kind of refamiliarizing you with everyone who's going to be really important in the movie. And then you're just going to have this huge trailer reveal with Doom in it, Robert Downey Jr., all this stuff, and it's just they're all going to be in it, right?" I would be shocked if everyone we're seeing in these trailers aren't in the official trailer. I'm sure some of the footage will be in the actual trailer as well. Mm-hmm. But these are just, it's like you said, it's like marketing. I don't want to say like ploys as in like marketing tactics that are actually working, I think. Mm-hmm. Like, this is all we're talking about right now. Like, I mean, we're going to talk about some other stuff in this video, in this podcast. Like, there's Batman stuff, there's Star Wars stuff, there's Game of Thrones stuff. Like, there's stuff we're going to talk about in this episode. But I mean, yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think it's working. I think it's doing what it needs to do, and I think the hype is there again. Mm-hmm. So,
I think we're in such a unique situation as a fan base because historically through the first several years it was a very united fan base. I actually remember we had That's conversations true. On lives and another podcast at lengths about different types of fan bases, and I've always said, and I still think it's pretty true, that Star Wars has like the most toxic fan base. Like, everybody just is divided and disagrees about everything all the time. But historically Marvel was pretty united. But over the last several years, Rocky Road, whatever reason you want to give it, we've started to see a little bit of that divide in the Marvel fan base where people who years ago we would discuss, oh yeah, the movies come out and they're really excited, now don't even know what's going on. So for me, as the 1%, as the top 1% of people who know what's going on with Marvel, which obviously you're in that category as well, like, we know everything. We've seen every project, we've seen all the leaks, the rumors. I'm trying to put myself in the position of the people who aren't watching this podcast, of the people who aren't on YouTube daily and aren't liked and subscribed, even though they should be. Because you're seeing these comments of people like, I was actually reading one this morning, and it was in regards to the X-Men thing. It was this whole thing, like, what the hell did I miss, was the title of it. And it's like, so you have this X-Men teaser where there's this stuff going on, and frankly, we don't even really know what the time period is, but people feel like they missed something. Like, when did I miss this episode of Marvel history where the X-Men were at this point? And there is so much to be revealed still, is kind of the point. Like, we don't know the answer to that, and we know the answer to most things. So very exciting, I think, for both the top 1%, I'm super involved and tapped into Marvel and love everything, and the I've kind of left a little bit because I haven't loved everything.
Yeah. That, I think that was like the guy that was talking to me today at the gym. He's like, "Oh, like, my brother's like, he knows who you are. Like, he watches all your stuff. Like, I watch you." He's like, but he like doesn't miss a video. And he's like, and we were talking about like, like, whoa, the X-Men are back. You know what I mean? And he was like, I guess one of those people that were like just completely in the dark. And he's like, dude, like, this is looking like a good movie. I'm like, yeah.
It was like, I've only been saying that for a year and a half.
Yeah, and but that's just like a perfect example of like a casual fan who's like, oh wow, like I love the Avengers stuff, and now I love that the X-Men are going to be in it as well. So, I mean, it's totally working. I actually think a lot of what Marvel's doing right now is really good. Like they're setting some stuff up. Like we have some stuff. We had some people in our Discord talking. Eugene and Sage, thank you to y'all for bringing up this topic. Big shout outs. And we always link our Discord in the description.
Description.
You
don't have to
pay. In the description and in the pinned comment normally. Join our Discord. But here's a great... I actually just did a video on this that's coming out. Well, it'll be today, Sunday. The Department of Damage Control made their debut in Spider-Man Homecoming. They've evolved into a paramilitary organization that we saw in the Ms. Marvel TV series. And now Eugene is asking, and Sage was making comments about this as well, if they could potentially hunt down mutants. That is what we are hearing is going to happen. That they are hunting down superhuman individuals, and they're operating outside of a jurisdiction, and they're doing illegal experiments on people. And that is kind of what Sadie Sink's character is running from. I think she's Jean Grey. I'm just going to go ahead and say, I think at this point in time, I'm fully convinced she's Jean Grey. Like, my time to shine low, the Insider just did a tweet the other day or something, and she was like, Sadie Sink's going to have power similar to Jean Grey's, and she's going to be wearing Jean Grey's colors. I'm like, so... Jean Grey.
So I was actually going to ask you that question because I kind of want to discuss that at some point today. So I was going to ask you about that later on. Like, are you locked on to somebody for Sadie Sink's character?
I'm locked on to Jean Grey. I think it makes a lot of sense, but going back to what Eugene and Sage are talking about, I think that, and Sage said this, and I've thought this before, that it's going to be revealed that Bolivar Trask is going to be the person behind the DODC, and eventually the Sentinels are going to be created by the DODC. I think that's a cool twist. I think it makes sense to and Wonder Man, right? People were commenting last time on our last podcast telling us to talk about Wonder Man. I am really looking forward to Wonder Man. I just want to throw that out there. And I think what they're doing in that show as well is really going to set up the mutants, because they have that whole, like the last trailer, or maybe it wasn't the last one because they just released like a new snippet where we got a new look at him, and I think it looks great in his suit. But he has powers. They've revealed that now in the trailer. And when he goes on to like an audition, he has to sign a waiver that says he doesn't have powers, right? So it looks like, I don't know, just between what we're hearing for Spider-Man Brand New Day and what we've seen so far for Wonder Man and some leaks that we've heard as well, it seems like society is cracking down on superhuman individuals, which is like a perfect setup for
mutants.
Like the base story of the mutants, right? You know? Yeah.
Which is a pretty powerful story in the MCU that we haven't seen. Like early on in the Iron Man days.
Civil War, right?
Right.
That's kind of what that, but this is like taking it a step further, and it kind of seems like, well, because when you add the mutants, there's so many more people.
Well, they're also adding that as like the plot device more than like a tool to get us where we need to go. Like the whole point of Civil War, realistically, in hindsight, was to separate the Avengers. And that was great because we didn't really focus so much on it. And even early days Iron Man, they had the whole court case where they're like, this is, no one man should have this power. And he kind of overcame it all by being a smart aleck. Yeah. And we went through all that. But having that be the emotion on the core of the MCU moving forward into the mutant saga, which I really hope is very mutant heavy and very small sprinkles of Avengers until eventually they start mixing that in, it's going to set up a really cool dynamic that we haven't had in the MCU. Yes, we've seen comics, we've seen animations, we've seen it in the Fox X-Men universe, but this will be like a whole different thing. And I do think that, you know, what was being discussed in Discord about it being Trask in the background gives a lot more weight to this organization that has kind of been like this half-cocked, like they were the big bad for the Ms. Marvel series, and that was kind of underwhelming. But giving it a face, a good face, will definitely ramp up their importance, which is important.
Well, actually, you mentioned Ms. Marvel, and I actually think they really set it up there too, because they they changed her origin. She wasn't an Inhuman. She's a mutant, and they specifically said. And then they did the X-Men theme song, yeah. And so they were setting that up because the Department of Damage Control was a big part there at the end, and then it was her. So, yeah, I think this really is the plan. And I actually like it because I like that it's like, for the MCU, it's not like when we get to Secret Wars, it's going to be like, scoosh, like cut it all off. No stories will continue whatsoever. We're completely rebooting it. I know that's how it probably should be.
Right. It's the cleanest
since
break.
They are keeping some characters and stuff like that, then you should keep continuity as well, right? So that makes sense to me, and I like that they're kind of setting this up, and this is going to definitely go over to the next part of the MCU and be a big part of the X-Men story, and I think just heroes in general story. So I think I think everything's building up really great right now.
Well, when you heavily merge that entire concept into the big oppressor of the mutants, which is the center of the next saga, so we up to this point we believe it. I'm pretty confident. I mean, Kevin Feige straight up said it years ago,
Right.
but.
Yeah.
The mutant saga is what's next, or the mutant phase, or whatever they end up calling their new rebooted universe. Right. But that does bring all those characters who associated with it over, which is going to be heavily Spider-Man. It's going to heavily be Sadie Sink, assuming that she has some type of rollover. I will say, my number one pick for Sadie is still
Mayday.
Yeah, definitely still Mayday.
That's who I would like.
It's
her
not
to
gonna
be,
happen.
but she's gonna be Jean. I feel.
I'm convinced she might be a Summers. Maybe
Rachel
not Jean.
Summers, Hope Summers.
I think it's gonna be, because I'm trying to think also. Okay, we have Cyclops, unless he just dies in that scene from that trailer and he's not in it. And it was a cool redeeming moment where he sacrifices himself to save something.
I think Jean dies in that scene.
Right.
I think she's
that means
out.
Sadie Sink should be his daughter.
See, here's my kickback to that, because I thought about that too, because we've discussed it on the channel, on the pod before too. Like, I think now I'm convinced that Doom is going to that universe for the Phoenix Force. Okay. So sending his daughter away, like, and that's another thing. Like, if Jean has the Phoenix Force, it'd be crazy to see her die with the Phoenix Force. So maybe she doesn't. Maybe,
be very unlikely.
Maybe her daughter has it, right? Maybe her daughter has it. And that could be Hope, that could be Rachel. And to see Jean die and then her to send one of those two, or I mean, it could even be Cable. Cable could have the Phoenix Force. Like, I'll even say that, right?
There's all sorts of options. Yeah.
Nathan could have it. So it's like, for them to send their child away, but we'll say I'll use Rachel as it's a girl, because Sadie Sink's a girl, obviously. So it's like, let's say they throw Rachel over there. Well, Doom would still go after her because he'd want the Phoenix Force, and I don't think that plays any role in Avengers Doomsday at all with what's happening with Spider-Man, really. Because it really does seem like Tom Holland's not going to be in Avengers Doomsday, which is crazy. But I mean, you think about his shooting schedule and all that, so everything he's doing, and it really doesn't seem like he's going to be in the movie. Which I assume also means Sadie Sink is not going to be in the movie. Mm-hmm. So I don't see that, like, logistically happening.
Right.
Because
I understand that.
I do think he wants the Phoenix. Because why does he go there? I mean, maybe to get rid of them, sure. Right? But there does seem to be a theme of, like, I got Franklin Richards, and, like, Love, she's got, like, Eternity's powers, and hey, the Phoenix Force would be awfully nice. Mm-hmm. And like, I just did a video today or yesterday, because it'll be Sunday when this comes out, about Doom possibly lifting Thor's hammer, and I was like, oh my gosh, he has the freaking emblem on his chest. Maybe that's some magical enchantment. Maybe that's him getting Thor's power, kind of sealing it up for himself. Maybe that's what he's doing. He's trying to get powers and, like, putting them a part of him, his suit, and it would make sense that the Phoenix Force is one of those powers that he would want.
Oh, 100%. And I don't disagree with that either. I just think for the continuity of it, I think, like, as we've had these discussions, I've realized how much I care about, like, the base. Like, I want it to make sense, and I want it to fit, and I want it to flow. And that doesn't mean it won't. Obviously, we're filling in a bunch of blanks. Like, we don't freaking know. Yeah. We have no idea. Like, in my mind, if I was going off on a random theory tangent, I would say, Professor X is trying to figure out the incursions himself, and he sends her over to the universe that's about to crash to figure out what's going on.
That's the theory I like.
Right, and then she ends up going back to the to the Foxman universe, the Fox X-Men universe,
X-Men, yeah,
the Foxman universe. And at that point, maybe they fight. She gets it passed over to her, and I think that's cool. I really like the connection of that. And I would really, really like to see a future MCU into the mutant saga where there are a lot of nods more than actual connections. So, have Tobey Maguire have a different kid that's going to be an important Spider-Man character in the future. Yeah. Have Sadie Sink be, our Cyclops' actual daughter, and have her move forward and kind of play these roles and build around these characters where it's not, okay, Madden's going to come back and play it till he's 80. Like, let's get a new Cyclops. But the touch to him is the fact that his daughter's still there. And things like that, I personally find very satisfying. They don't make sense just because I want them to, and they're not going to happen because I want them to. But that's probably why I want it to be Rachel.
I especially think with the X-Men, it's good. Like, they're going to do First Class. They're going to do Jean, Scott, Beast, Warren, who is Angel, for those who don't know his actual name. I like Hank McCoy. Like, that's what I think they're going to do originally, which I actually think is like the good way to start it. That's the best way to start it, I think. There's other ways you could do it that would totally work, but I think a First Class is probably what you should do. And I think it makes sense that if you have like Sadie Sink as Jean Grey kind of running around, and then after Secret Wars that's the thing, is we don't know what's going to happen at the end of Spider-Man, Doomsday, all this stuff. Like, Professor X shows up and says, hey, like, you need my help. You know what I mean? Like, she's running from the DODC. Professor X offers safe haven at his, mansion. I think it will really work out pretty well.
Yeah. So. And ultimately we're just getting that full story. And before we end up moving off of Marvel stuff, I do want to return to
I still have more Marvel stuff.
Oh, good. Well, Doom lifting the hammer for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty epic.
I mean, I want to see it so bad. But the part of that report going around online right now, the part that I want to really see more than anything is Doom holding the hammer and throwing it back to Thor. Going, come on, God of Thunder.
I expected more.
Is that all you got? Because I think Doom has to be that strong. I think he has to be that powerful. I think they need to show that he's bigger and badder than Thanos.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of my favorite comments across any of the trailers that have come out, like all of the advertising we've gotten up to this point, the one that really makes me go, hell yeah, was one of the top comments on the Thor trailer. And it was something along the lines of, not verbatim, but Doom's really going to be the guy that has a god praying to God for help. It's like, it's going to be pretty crazy. Like, what did he do to make Thor pray to a god when he's a god? It's crazy. It's the most important thing that they need to do, which is establishing Doom as a problem. And every single trailer in the background, without even saying his name, every single person is thinking, Doom is going to mess some crap up. And I can't wait till we get that first look at Doom, because that is such an important use of their marketing is getting that Doom establishment out. And they're doing it.
Yeah, and there's actually an interesting rumor going around that for the fourth trailer, Shuri, when she's nodding and doing Wakanda Forever, it's actually at Doom. Doom's tricking them into trying to mobilize for something, fight something. Maybe it's to fight the X-Men, who knows? But the fate of the multiverse, your universe, my universe depends on it. This is what I've seen, is tricking them. I'm like, I like that, because that trailer feels heavy, right? It's very intense. It's very intense to me. And I actually originally was like, okay, they're going to show Wakanda and sure, the thing's going to be, I'm like, yeah, it's bit of a downgrade from the X-Men one, right? But then I saw it and I was like, I actually do feel like this is pretty heavy. I actually felt the weight of it. I wasn't underwhelmed by it, actually. And honestly, Shuri's new suit and M'Baku's new suit, I think look pretty dope. And we've been hearing Namor is going to have some scenes with Sue Storm, which means I think he's going to try to get it. But Namor, I'm married is type of comic panels we're going to get.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So this is a very interesting one that I want to talk about before moving on to DC next. John Campea says that Doom, looking like Tony, will not be explained in Doomsday, but instead Secret Wars. He says they do not, nor should they, and that answer will come in Secret Wars. He also recently said that him and Rob, who is on his show as well, were both told separately from 3 to 4 different people what the exact plot of Avengers Doomsday was, how it all plays out, blah, 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 blah. And he said that his excitement has increased 10 times more. He says he's not explicitly sharing any major spoilers because he learned his lesson with the No Way Home fiasco, but he will drop tidbits here and there so where people can look back and see what he was talking about. Yeah. So, and then it says right here, someone else was, Rob reported that someone else was with Namor, Shuri, and the Fantastic Four at the location of the fourth trailer, but was hidden and not shown in the footage. But John Campea stopped him before he could say anything, and I think he was alluding to Doom in this as well. So,
well, I think one of the biggest questions that we don't have an answer to, that we might get an answer to in the first teaser trailer, I could see them giving us this answer, is Doom on the Fantastic Four ship with them? Obviously, we all assumed Franklin was kidnapped, but that was just kind of the assumption. But it's also possible he showed up and said, "We got something we need to do.
Hey, something's wrong." Yeah. And it does make me wonder, is he from that universe or is he just a different Doom? We've been hearing rumors and reports today from Alex Perez that Doom's going to have a whole team and there's going to be Doom bots and then other Dooms and stuff. Regardless, Doom's like betraying everybody and killing all the other Dooms.
Right. That sounds like the real ending of Doomsday. Right. Is the Doom betrayal.
I hope they don't wait till the ending of Doom. I hope it's like in 40% into the movie, they finally reveal Doom as the villain. 50%, halfway into the movie.
Originally, my big kind of thought of how I would want it to be done was, let's get 20, 30 minutes of just Doom origin from the gate. It sounds like that's not really where we're going to be going. It sounds like we're going to be starting with some other characters, like Toby and Wolverine might be the opening. And then if they're not going to even go into the Tony Stark background, then maybe we won't really get Doom origin at all until Secret Wars, which isn't my preferred method.
I'm sure they'll give it to us. But what is interesting is actually, as you're talking about this, and you said what you said, it is actually funny. Like I think we do have a decent amount of leaks, but we still have no idea.
No, we have no clue. We're kind of just spitballing. All these theories are made on hopes and dreams.
Yeah, well, but it's we have reports, and I do think a lot of them are accurate, but that doesn't tell us what the movie is. No. Which I think is really cool, especially if the rumor about the runtime being 3 hours and 45 minutes is right.
That we need to talk about.
No, they should go into Doom's backstory. They should.
Yeah, that's fair.
They should give us at least 20 minutes of it.
Yeah.
If it's going to be almost 4 hours long.
Do you want it in flashbacks or do you want it in monologue? Doom giving a monologue to somebody, or would you rather just go see it?
Same thing. It's the same thing. It's a monologue would do a flashback to what he was talking about. Just like they did Thanos, basically, but I think I would want it all at once. Thanos was spread out because you have Thanos showing Strange, Gamora talking about it. I think they should just show it all from his birth to his mother making a deal with Mephisto and dying, and then his father dies, him going to America, being roommates with Reed, him trying to build the machine to talk to his mother in the hell dimension. It explodes, it scars his face. Doesn't sound like that's going to be his origin. Sounds like maybe an incursion is the reason for that. Him going with the monks, all of that I want to see. I don't think it's going to be 100% accurate from his origin in the comics like that. I think
it'd be cool if we hear it. If we hear it from Loki, it'd be cool if Loki is studying him and shares it with Thor.
That would be kind of cool.
That'd be a cool way to hear it, because Loki is what now? The god of stories. Realistically, is what he is.
Yeah,
I actually also envisioned the other day. I don't remember if I was reading something or just thinking about it, because that's what we do. But it would be a crazy cool scene for Loki to be sitting on his throne holding the universes together, and then he looks over and one just disappears. One just shrivels out of his hand. And then you kind of visualize his point of view, because we still don't necessarily know, because it's never been revealed, if he's bound to the chair, if he can teleport himself visually to places, what he does and doesn't know beyond just the fact that he's holding and sees everything. But I think Loki is going to have such a cool part. And we've heard from Tom Hiddleston the last couple of days.
We have, yeah.
But his involvement is going to be so cool.
He's saying he's done things that they've never done before. And that, his monumentous, was that the word he used?
That sounds like a word he would use.
Yeah. So, then something this is Marvel, but it's also Sony. We're hearing that, according to Daniel RPK, Sony is reportedly now open to sharing characters they own with Marvel and Disney.
This week. This week.
You know what I think they decided to stop their universe, and I think now finally they're just like, our movies don't make money, but if we freaking put them in these Marvel movies, then we'll make more money than before, than we would trying to do our own movies. And clearly they don't have the team to do it. Mm-hmm. And according to Dakota Johnson, the executives and stuff just have no idea what people want. And I think that's apparent with the films they've released.
Well, right. That doesn't actually need much backing up because we've seen it.
Right. And I think it's just like, dude, y'all can't do a Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man. Spider-Man's he's gonna work in the MCU. So just let it go on the MCU, make money off of making a deal with Marvel. They make, money off of Spider-Man being in the Spider-Man movies and Avengers movies. Do that with the rest of the characters. And it kind of seems like that's what they're doing already with Spider-Man Brand New Day. Is a ton of characters reportedly going to be in the movie. So I think it just makes sense. I think it's finally Sony going, like, why are we fighting this? Like, we're not making money on ourselves. Like, this is what the people want.
It's good timing because it's a place in the MCU's history where they can start adding characters with the whole reboot and the refresh. Right. Like, if they did want to start opening up portals and grabbing characters and like, hey, we got these characters, let's throw them in so we can build their story later. They kind of can now. And it's like, oh, all of a sudden they've been there the whole time, just in a different universe. And now they're in the main universe. So good timing.
It's good timing for that. And another big reason, I think more than ever, Marvel would want this deal with Sony because that's the last piece of the puzzle. They have the X-Men, the Fantastic Four now. They have Spider-Man. But to be able to use the rest of the characters as they want is the final piece. And like, yeah, you could say, oh, they can't do a solo Hulk movie. I don't necessarily think I want one at this point in time, unless it's with the new Hulk. Right? We're getting the Hulk in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I wanted the World War Hulk movie. Doesn't look like that's happening. No. And I'd also prefer that later because I think eventually we get the Illuminati in the MCU, and then you can do the real World War Hulk movie because they've already done like Sakaar and everything like that. Like they've already done too much of the story of World War Hulk, too much of the events that lead to World War Hulk, and then after with Scar, his son. It's really weird how they did it.
It's all rather odd.
Yeah. So I'd rather just a new Hulk down the road. Just give us a true World War Hulk movie. And yeah. But okay, moving on. This part's cool. This part still kind of does tie in with Marvel, but we're blending in with DC now. Sebastian Stan is Harvey Dent. He is Two-Face in the Batman 2. So I'm really excited about that. But here, and also Scarlett Johansson is reportedly going to play his wife. Seems like they're doing long. Yeah, it seems like they're going to do the long Halloween. So that's going to be cool to see them two together. And it's just really interesting because, it's two Marvel actors going to DC. But here's the thing is the Batman Part 2 and Avengers Secret Wars are shooting at the exact same time on different continents. So a lot of people are like, oh man, Bucky's dying and Doomsday.
Bucky is dead with a capital dead. Which wouldn't be a surprise. It would be sad. I love Bucky. I love Sebastian Stan. But I could see him making the great sacrifice and move on. Like, that's the thing. Everybody that dies, you just think they're going to sacrifice themselves and let other people live. But like,
it would be something Bucky would do. Maybe he sacrifices himself for Cap.
For Steve.
You know what I mean? Yeah, for Steve. Yeah. I guess I got to specify.
I could see that.
Yeah, for Steve.
But is that what that means? I guess if they're filming at the same time, like, is that what that means? Like, he could have a smaller role in Secret Wars.
There's ways to make it happen. I mean, like, yeah, they're shooting on different continents, but private jets paid for by the studios. You know what I mean? Like, it's totally possible. But it does make you hear that, and it does make you think, "Oh man, this guy's biting the dust finally." And
somebody has to die.
Well, and you just think Kevin Feige said, "Hey, eventually we are recasting Iron Man. We are recasting Cap." Okay, with that is gonna, I feel like you're gonna recast Bucky as well. Yeah. The only thing I'm really concerned with, actually, with that is, and with the X-Men, is timelines. Like, how are you gonna have Magneto past be the Holocaust with the new X-Men stories? You know what I mean? Like
Well, I guess
there's
that's
a
just
lot
a
of
problem of time anyway, because we're a lot further away from the Holocaust. We're 20 years further away from the Holocaust than we were when they made the last Magneto character come out. You know, like we are already naturally into different civil justice. So is Magneto, and I say this extremely delicately and very open-mindedly, is Magneto tied to that specific civil justice for all time, or does the civil justice around him evolve to something
well,
more
right. It
more
was saying like,
modern?
oh, if Denzel Washington played him, then they
Yeah,
could
it
do,
could be like
black rights and stuff
yeah,
like that.
it could
right.
be
Yeah,
it could be
slavery
and that
stuff
would be
like
fine.
Yeah, totally. It could, but I mean, then you're really.
Well, then there's the
It's gonna
question:
piss
Is it
people off.
okay? Is it
will
okay
piss
to do
a
that?
section of people off.
Yeah, I'm not saying we
They
need
can do whatever they want. Yeah.
White Panther. I don't need a change just for change. But if the idea of Magneto in his soul is
Right.
to stand up in this civil justice war as a character, if that's what he was designed for, well, the civil justice has changed. It's not to say that there aren't Jewish people who are oppressed. There isn't still issues around there. But I definitely would say if you're going to put a different character, a different race there, that's one where you're doing a gender swap where I'm like, that would make sense. That would work for the character. Not for me, for the character.
Right, it's not to do it just to do it. It's like there's
Exactly
a purpose
true.
behind it. Which
Exactly
I,
true.
if there's a purpose for it, I totally agree. And if they did that, I honestly would be like, yeah, I think we could go in some good direction story wise with this. Also, at the same time, I think you could maybe move the events of the Holocaust in the MCU forward in time.
Also true. Also
where
true.
some crazy superpowered individual became a Hitler type person, right? And oppressed. Yeah, I don't know.
And he's a different version of the Holocaust, but the same idea. I think if you're making a movie for the America's future, right? Because at this point, into the new MCU, yeah, they're still making movies for us, but I would like to assume Disney's goal is to start catching new audience, start writing new stories that apply to them.
Yeah.
Racism, particularly on African Americans, on Black people, is something that most people in that younger age group are going to be able to associate with a lot better than the Holocaust. You know,
Sure. Well, it's
and
more
not
recent,
to say anything's less important, but you're trying to build a story that's rooted into it. But imagine a Black Magneto who grew up in neighborhoods where all of this societal issues is happening. I mean, there's a lot of emotion
older.
there.
You could even say, you could maybe stretch it and say he was a slave himself, or like, he just got, like, when he was born, his parents just got out of becoming slaves or something like that. You know what I mean? Or,
something where those effects are felt, and it's just a little bit more in line with what the younger people today, I mean, I'm 30 now, so I can say the younger people today would be able to associate with. I think that's kind of cool. I wouldn't be opposed to that in the slightest.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can see how that would be a good story, but then also I'm like, I want to keep people's origins the same.
Yeah,
but like,
that's
I guess
the eternal
you grow
struggle.
and things have to evolve and stuff like that. But that is my struggle with that, right? Not because I do think that would actually be a good story. I think it would work. But I do wonder how they would, like, especially because, like, Steve serving in the war, Bucky serving in the war, and
that's
it's
all
just
done
like,
too.
that's why we got on this. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm thoroughly more excited for the Batman Part 2 now because there's an actor in it who I love, right? And I still think Ben Affleck's Batman is my number one Batman. Yes, I said it. And I think Robert Pattinson's is my second. Yes, I said it. Christian Bale would be third to me. I said it. I'm not ashamed. That's how I feel. I'm not saying Christian Bale isn't amazing as Batman. I'm not saying those movies aren't amazing.
We've had some strong Batman.
How I view Batman, I prefer the Ben Affleck one, and I just really love Detective Batman for Robert Pattinson. That's why I really like Detective
wonder if
comics. Detective Batman's what I love.
I wonder if after the second Batman comes out, if you'll put Robert Pattinson on top, if he can outperform his first one, which was really strong.
I like Ben Affleck's Batman a lot because I think he does a good Batman and a very good Bruce Wayne. I think he does both very well. And he bulked up for it, which I really loved. I really loved that. And I totally understand why Batman doesn't kill, but and people would give me crap for this. Like, I kind of like how brutal he was.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? And I get it. You can be like, that's not how Batman is. Batman doesn't kill. I totally get it. But also at the same time, I get being brutal. Like, I get your past making you so angry and everything. You know what I mean? And
100%.
And it's just, but I just liked how big he was. Because to me, that's, Christian Bale, although he was in great shape and was muscular, he was a little bit skinnier for me. And there was some, I don't want to nitpick because I do think he was amazing, and I do think those Batman movies are amazing. Some of the best superhero films ever. Totally. I nitpick a lot. I love Batman. Like,
well, there's a lot to decide with Batman too, because there's so many modern adaptations, and they were pretty different.
Right, and which is why James Gunn's like, I think we've seen all the Batmans. Like, dude, no, we haven't.
First off, no, we haven't.
You can say you're struggling with it. That's fine. I won't give you crap for that. Right, but no, we haven't. Like, no.
I'm waiting for an incredible Batman Beyond. I was such a fan of Batman Beyond.
Yeah. There's a lot of different. There's so many.
There's so many stories. There's so much you can do.
I'm just like, so yeah, but I'm excited for that. Let us know how excited you are. Here's something that is really cool to me. Tom Cruise visited the set of Sean Levy's Star Wars Starfighter and ended up filming one of the lightsaber duels for him. That's so cool.
Just like, I don't know. Just jumped on and just started doing stuff.
Action. Tom Cruise is the king of action. So I just think his mind works differently. So if he's on the set and he goes, hey, I think it should be like this. If I'm Sean Levy, I'm going to be like, yeah, no, do that. Let's do that. Let's listen to Tom Cruise.
So is he in the movie, or did he just choreograph it?
I don't know.
Or unknown. Unknown.
I think he probably choreographed here.
Surely he earned a cameo or something.
I can't read it because it's in the freaking New York Times and they have a freaking paywall.
No paywall.
Yeah.
Well,
this is why I stopped doing my site, because websites are seemingly dying.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and they're struggling to make money because AI is taking over. But it's from the New York Times, and the report is Sean he ended up filming one of the lightsaber duels for him. I don't think he's in the movie. But we did also hear that there are going to be Jedi in the movie.
Nice.
Not saying that like Ryan Gosling's character is a Jedi or anything like that. Maybe it's Rey. I don't know. Because I think they revealed that it doesn't take place that too long after the Rey. I was
about to ask, have they like officially revealed it? Because I've heard a bunch of different rumors, but I don't know. I think
it's just been a while since we've heard like a ton about it.
It's been pretty quiet. They've changed their plans for Star Wars like 9 times in the last year as well.
So it takes place 6 years after the events of the Rise of Skywalker. So Rey's there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she's
everybody is
woman. Yeah. Well, I want them to do the hunt for. I want them to bring Ben Solo back. I want them to bring Kylo Ren back. Like,
yeah,
that was I think that was a dumb decision. There's a lot of dumb decisions.
Start that whole trilogy,
but still, yeah. I remember when we went to watch Rise of Skywalker. Chris was really not a fan. I know a lot of people really aren't a fan. Chris was really not a fan.
I was so disappointed.
But I thought it was really cool that Tom Cruise is on the set now.
That's crazy fun.
Yeah, I just feel like Tom Cruise knows action and stuff, right?
I feel like Tom Cruise has reached one of the highest honors that a human being can ascend to. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, filmmaking. Yeah.
No, in just life. Like he's pretty much done the Snoop Dogg. Like, he's at the point where he's completed his life mission and then some, and now he can just kind of do whatever he wants. Like, he's finished life. Like, he's good. Like, he can just walk onto the Star Wars set, do some crap, and walk away. Yeah. He's like a real version of Deadpool, just like Snoop Dogg is. Like, they can just show up and do what they want and leave because they've completed life. They beat all the levels. They've gotten all the achievements. And it's like,
what's ironic is I think Scientology has like levels and stuff that you
probably he gets a Scientology badge. Yeah, but I'm trying to think of like which other people, modern day people, because I won't necessarily know older actors, but modern day people who have achieved the Snoop Dogg level of life, and that's kind of like the only two I can really think. Wow, those guys have just done everything and completed it and done it successfully, and are done.
That's why they say like Tom Cruise is like the last action star.
I agree.
Left.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't remember who said it. I don't want to throw a name out there. Okay, it's not like bad or anything, but who said it? Someone said something like, I think it might have been George Clooney who said that. Who said like, films nowadays don't have the extra super big superstars anymore, like you had the Brad Pitts and the Clooney's and the Afflecks and the
that era is kind of dying out,
right? The Jolies and the Julia Gardner, like people like Meryl Streep's. like they still act today, but who is that from the newer ones? And I think like Timothy Chalamet, I think is growing. I think Chris Pratt, Robert Downey Jr. obviously. But it's kind of like that talk we had before, like outside of Marvel, they haven't done amazing, like a ton of amazing stuff. Like they've done some amazing, like Robert Downey Jr. Oppenheimer was great, right?
Now you
But
type
like Chris
in
Evans has been kind of hit and miss with some of his movies. Even the Russo brothers making their movies have been hit and miss, right? Like Electric State. Yeah,
if you
I
were
was
to
bored.
type
I didn't
in
think it was a good movie.
George Clooney's name into Google and click movies, the roster that would pop up, or Brad Pitt,
Oh yeah,
or
totally.
or Tom
and
Cruise,
and they're doing and they're doing the Oceans movie. They're doing another Oceans movie, and
I did
apparently
see that.
you know, good amount of the cast is returning, which I like. I love those movies. Look,
yeah, that'll be a pretty epic
movies.
movie.
Yeah, those are good, and Julia Garner's returned as well, which is crazy. Yeah, so like, I mean,
well, it is pretty cool to see that. I think, and it's so hard to say because it's years in development and years till we see the change, but you see it with a lot of films very recently, like the last 6 months, the practical shooting that they're trying to get back to, because it just brings an energy to the screen. And Tom Cruise would 100% agree with this. This dude drives motorcycles off of mountains because we could do that in post. But
stands on planes.
No,
and
that's not the way it works, right? It's that, and that's
it's just,
and there's a
different.
reason. Yeah, the adrenaline, the emotion that is not captured on a green screen. And that's not to say no green should happen, that CGI is the worst thing that's ever happened to movies. It's the reliance on it, right? It's the same with AI. Like, there's nothing wrong with AI. It's when people are relying on it to do the job, that's where we start running into issues.
And just sometimes they don't even nail it. Like, you can look at some of the past Marvel movies where they don't nail it, and you're like, this looks bad.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember what movie it was. Me and my brother went to it. Might have been Captain America: Brave New World. And my brother's like, you remember that? I'm drawing a blank now on the it's they fight the giant robots, fight the kaijus.
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim.
Worst movie I've ever watched in my entire life was Pacific Rim. I don't know what you're about to say.
I
hate
insane.
that movie.
That movie's fantastic.
I hate that movie.
You are absolutely insane. Roast
that
Chris
movie,
the comics, please.
That movie might be the worst movie I've ever watched.
You are crazy. You are insane. That is a crazy. That is worse than your Goku take. That's worse than your Goku.
I didn't know what you were about to say about Pacific Rim because we've never talked about it.
It's a great movie.
But I remember just hating that movie.
That's a crazy take. Dude. That's a crazy take. I love that movie. I haven't watched it in a while, but
maybe I need to go watch it. And maybe you'll like it less, and I'll like it more. I remember hating that movie.
The point of it was though that had better CGI than Brave New World at point.
Oh, you
and
look
that movie's 15 years old.
You look at some of the clips from Transformers, from Pirates of the Caribbean, all of the Davy Jones stuff, the detail and the crispness of all of that, and then you compare it to mostly a lot of these Marvel projects and a lot of these movies that are coming out where it's like, wow, I would have thought Davy Jones was an actual person with that freaking octopus beard.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know why it hasn't progressed. It's regressed. I
think it has progressed, but I think it comes back to like what we knew and what Kevin Feige ultimately ended up saying. Like, when you have Disney making you do stuff and you're spread super thin, and you know there had been so many reports about how these artists, these CGI artists, all these people were like underpaid, overworked, all this stuff. Like, what do you think's gonna happen? You think it's gonna be great? Like, no, you're spread too thin. They're overworked, underpaid. Like, they're pissed off about it. Like, you're not going to get their best work.
But we also had how many different strikes from actors and creators alike, writers.
That too, and then we had so many different versions of Brave New World, and you could see that it's chopped up. And obviously, like, some new scenes did not get finished with CGI. Like, but anyways, we don't need to sit here and nitpick it.
Well, that's why they're doing such a good thing with Doomsday, where we're way ahead of schedule. Well, ultimately will end up being pushing it
to make sure they have enough time. And I will say some of those scenes of Fantastic Four were amazing. The black hole scene.
Oh yeah.
Like, you want to talk about what you're going to talk about stuff you can't shoot practically that you have to use CGI stuff for. Like,
you
looked
mean they
amazing.
didn't go to a black hole, Warren?
No, sorry, Chris.
Tom Cruise would go to a black hole.
Tom Cruise would go to a black hole. Tom Cruise would go to a black hole. Yes. Tom Cruise is looking down on Marvel and the Fantastic Four for
He's like, you nerds.
A real black hole, not going.
Has Tom Cruise gone to space yet?
Has
Tom Cruise gone to space? Do we know that? I feel like he hasn't. And I feel like he needs to.
I feel like he hasn't, but I feel like it's very Tom Cruise.
I feel like he needs to film a movie on the moon. I feel like we need him up there. I feel like in my head,
Katy Perry going to space.
yeah, great.
Ish.
Yeah, ish. I feel like Tom Cruise needs to actually go to space.
He needs to film a movie in space.
Film a movie
like,
or something.
We need
like a
real
Gravity movie.
shot in space. Like,
yeah, it could even be like a 90-minute, oh no, the ship is crashing, what do we do movie? And they stuff him up in a freaking satellite up in space and they're just like, go film it.
I'm down.
I would be down for that.
I would, dude, it can't happen. Because Bruce Willis is in a care home now, which is so sad to see. You know, everything's happened to him because he's one of my
it's progressing quickly
actors.
for him.
Yeah, he's not doing well, and that sucks. Bruce Willie dough. Love Bruce Willis. But to see, imagine a movie shot in space with Tom Cruise and Bruce Willis, because he's like army, like he's got those old space movies that I love. You know, like gosh, that would be cool, man. Like
that'd be super cool. We could do Martian for real, but with Tom Cruise. Send him to Mars.
yeah. Sorry, Matt Damon. Tom Cruise looks down on you because you didn't really get lost on Mars. Tom Cruise is gonna go do it for real.
One of my favorite stories about my wife ever, because she's not the biggest movie person. Warren knows this very well. She was asleep in the world premiere for Endgame.
Yeah.
Not the biggest movie person ever, but she loves true stories. So to get her to watch The Martian, I said, this is based on a true story. She sat through the whole movie, and then towards the end, she's like, wait a minute, this can't be real. She loves true stories. I'm like, oh yeah, this is based on a true story.
What gave it away for her? What gave it away for her?
I don't remember specifically, but that's just what I told her. I'm like, oh yeah, you like true? This is based on a true story. Let's watch this. And oh no, it's just I think there are so many movies that bring such joy to people, like more Pacific Rim. And
that's wild.
And I want to feel that joy about movies, and I think 2026 is really pushing us in a direction that movies haven't gone a long way. And I think a lot of these creators and companies are trying to take their role in it a little more seriously, whether that's design, whether that's creation, whether that's writing or acting. I think 2026 is really swinging hard for big boy movies. Big boy movies.
I do too. But also Pacific Rim is rated 72%.
That's low.
Not rotten.
72% is terrible. Terrible.
7 out of 10.
So bad.
Oh, 77% by the audience.
By the audience. Okay.
Maybe you watched one of the sequels.
Maybe I watched one of those weird burner movies. I don't know. I remember it was... for a while, I haven't even uttered the words Pacific Rim in years, but I remember for a while when people were like, oh, what's your least favorite movie? I'd be like, oh, it's Pacific Rim.
That's crazy.
No questions asked.
I could just think of just like Morbius.
I don't know. I just remember I just didn't have a good time with that movie. I don't know if it was because I was bored or because maybe I wasn't paying enough attention. I just don't recall. I couldn't even tell you the reason. I just remember for the longest time that was my least favorite movie, Pacific Rim. I didn't know people liked that movie. You saying that it was a great movie, I thought Pacific Rim was associated with like, oh yeah, that's a bad movie. That was why when you said crazy. Pacific Rim, I was like, oh, you're talking about bad movies.
That's crazy because I don't dislike them, but I'm not like the biggest like Godzilla fan. You know what I mean? Like I go watch them, but you know, I've never been like, oh, like the monsters, let's go watch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But I really like Pacific Rim. And it's like kaijus, you know what I mean? It's like, and
my opinion really probably doesn't matter.
Movies and stuff.
My opinion probably doesn't matter that much because I like Fast and Furious. So
oh my gosh, I know.
Ultimately,
I've always given Chris crap about the. I mean, I get it. So many people. For me, it was just like I loved really cool souped up cars growing up. So the first couple of Fast and Furious were great, and then it's just like, what the hell am I even watching now? And like, yeah, they're cool to watch and stuff like that. And I can sit there and know what they are and have a good time and watch them for sure. Just. Not how
There's definitely a couple moments in those movies where you're just like, this might be too much.
Oh, wait. The last one I watched was with you, and I'm like, are they really... They sealed a car and took it into space. I'm like, what am I watching here? Like, what is the... How did they ever... They would have been shot out of the sky. Like,
you know what's crazy? I'm pretty sure that's like...
Shot them.
I'm pretty sure that's like number 7, and we're on to like 10 or 11 now. Or maybe that was 8. I don't know. I think the hardest thing for me to believe in that entire franchise, genuinely, the hardest thing for me to get my head around is that Vin Diesel and John Cena are brothers.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Yeah.
I
Well,
have
speaking of
one
you have
last
stuff.
thing, because we were, and this relates to the MCU. It's also super famous actress news. I'm sure you saw with Evangelina Lilly what happened to her. Did you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's relatively recent, and there was some like she retired from acting. We're talking about if she's going to come back. It definitely looks like her character probably won't be returning. I'll read real
Yeah.
quick. She was diagnosed with a traumatic brain injury following an accident in Hawaii. She explained that she'd fainted, fell, and struck her face
Hit
on a
her head
rock.
on a rock,
Later, the injury caused some cognitive impairment. She's undergoing treatment, and she's grateful to everybody for supporting her. I think that kind of definitely puts to bed any is she going to come back, which potentially could be a big issue for Paul Rudd, who we've discussed if he's going to be one of the early deaths. His story might get wiped away a little bit with those issues, and then his daughter will probably pick up the mantle and survive.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. They could say that she dumped him.
Oh, it could be anything.
Because I also don't really think that Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne and them need to really be like, there was just too much for Quantum Mania. It needed to be about probably just Ant-Man and his daughter. To be honest,
yes, I don't disagree with that. And
you know, so not to be like a douche, but the Van Dynes and the Pyms, like they could probably just
they were never surviving the reboot anyway, right?
I don't think so. Yeah,
for me, it was mostly we were discussing if she would even be in it, and this all came out about the time when Ant-Man had big rumors to die, and we were kind of like, well, she's retired from acting, but. You know, something like Doomsday could get you back for a moment, but
of course,
that's increasingly unlikely now.
I don't think so. Now. Yeah. Well, one of the last things I guess we'll talk about is I guess they're moving forward with the Game of Thrones sequel again, but this time it's set in the future. Not like
you know how many Game of Thrones sequels we've had promised and
it's
canceled?
too much.
So
it's too much. Here's what I want to. I saw this the other day. I brought this up. Talking about 2026, there will be 29 sequels releasing in 2026.
Sequels total? Not for Game of Thrones.
No, total. So, Heartstopper Forever, The Devil Wears Prada 2, The Mandalorian and Grogu, The Strangers Chapter 3, Paw Patrol, the Dino movie, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, Spider-Man Brand New Day, The Adventures of Cliff Booth, Insidious, The Bleeding World, the Super Mario Galaxy movie, 28 Days Later, The Bone Temple, Peaky Blinders, The Immortal Man. I actually really want to see that. Fall 2, Scream 7, Jumanji 4, Minions 3, Toy Story 5, Greenland 2, Dune Part 3, Angry Birds 3, Scary Movie 6,
Angry Birds
Fokker-in-Law, the Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, Violent Night 2, Enola Holmes 3, Air Bud Returns.
No, he doesn't need to return.
They're making
Leave
Air
him
Bud
alone.
movies. Mortal Kombat 2, Practical Magic 2, Super Troopers 3, Avengers Doomsday, The Social Reckoning, which I believe is the follow-up to The Social Network. Some of them I will watch. Okay, a few of them I will watch. But it is also... And it's like, I find it funny that there's so many sequels, but like, I do think there's a demand for them, right? Like, Avengers Doomsday is technically a sequel, like... Who's saying they shouldn't make this movie? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but it is kind of funny to see like Jumanji 4. Like I don't remember 3. Did it release yet?
3.
I
so
don't
it's
remember.
the first Jumanji, and then the new ones, the second new one, and then the fourth is the third new one.
Oh,
because it's all the same universe, right?
Oh, so they count Robin Williams's as number
That's
1?
the first one, yeah. Because
Gotcha.
They've got all of his stuff in it from when he was in it, and it's all connected. It's the same game, same world, same everything.
Is the Jonas brother? Is he in the second one, or the first reboot? Or the third one? I guess is he in the third one or the second one?
So I don't, because the Jonas brother is a character in the game. So I think he would be, because it's all the characters come back. So if there were 5 of them, I can't recall, to be completely honest. But I think this third one that they're coming out with, because I've actually kind of enjoyed the reboots. They're dumb.
Yeah, they're
Jack
bad.
Black movies. They're the Rock movies.
Yeah.
But they're fun. They're good. They do justice to one of my favorite actors of all time, Robin Williams, and it's really great. But yeah, I think they come to the real world. So the game escapes the game and comes to the real world, and they're running up and down the streets. But I was reading an article, to your point, of that massively long list you just read, from a Disney Imagineer who sits around and does ideas for new projects, specifically movies. And she said, this is it's funny, but this is the genuine report coming from the inside of Disney's beautiful minds.
Yeah.
The last several meetings we have, it seems fans are reclaiming for new content.
Well, yeah.
It's like, you don't want Frozen 97? Like, no, we don't. We want something new. Give us something. These live action remakes and these, like, give me something. There are no more ideas in the world. We've done them all.
Well, yeah, I mean, because in my mind I'm thinking of Rebel Moon, right? There's attempts to do. I'm sorry, but Zack Snyder I do like some stuff that he's done for sure, but like Rebel Moon wasn't it. I do think we need like a new Star Wars, new Lord of the Rings, new Avenger. Like I do think we
got Game of Thrones. That's not super old. That's relatively new. Like that whole concept from the stories from R.R. Martin and all that. Like that's relatively a new universe,
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I just feel like we've done everything, and now we're just redoing everything.
No, we haven't done anything. I've wanted for like over a decade to like I've like created a world in my head, like a fantasy world that I've like wanted to turn into a book. Maybe I will at some point in time, but I mean I could come up with things that are like mixing fantasy with technology, and you know I'm setting like on a
there are so many ideas,
different world, and there are ideas out there. It's just
we have the same 7
Hollywood
people making every movie.
I'm just gonna be perfectly honest. Hollywood will mess them up because like the Rings of Power, it's terrible to me.
It started off
there's some great parts to it. But
Yeah.
it's like, it's so slow. It doesn't really capture the essence of what the Lord of the Rings is about. They don't stick true to some things. What they did with the orc and stuff like that. It's just like, they just make stupid decisions that they're so disconnected from what people really want.
Well, when you get to the end of a series like Rings of Power and you ask yourself, why was this made? Then you did something wrong. And I feel like that's the case for so many different things. And Game of Thrones, since that was what started this conversation, they did House of Dragon and it was really good. I don't know if you've seen that. Warren only just recently finished Game of Thrones. So House of Dragon. Just recently finish it. House of Dragon goes into like the dynasty of when the Targaryens were in charge. Prior. Right. And it's done extremely. It's Millie Alcock. Millie Alcock actually. It's all his story. It's his family. It's what leads to it. Millie Alcock plays one of like the main characters, and then they jump forward and she's not in it anymore. But one of the series, because they were after Game of Thrones officially ended, I'm confident that HBO threw around a million ideas of how to capitalize on it, and they didn't. Quite frankly, they just haven't, because they haven't done anything. They just had all these confirmed ideas that never came together. One of the series I want is Tormund, Greatsbane, and Ghost over the wall, because I don't know if you recall the guy with the big beard that's in love with Brienne of Tarth, hilarious White Walker guy. He goes north with Ghost. I want a series where you just see those two messing around north of the wall the whole time. Like, there's so much fun stuff to do, and it just nothing happens, or it takes 10 years for an episode to get released, and it's just
well, that was Stranger Things. That was the issue.
I was about to say Stranger Things,
and they didn't deliver. I guess we didn't really talk about it. This is a way to end it. My personal opinion, as always, I will not put you down for liking something I do not like, or vice versa.
Absolutely,
we like what we like. I was very underwhelmed with the season finale. There were some stupid decisions made, I think.
So bad that the entire fan base was hoping that there was actually a secret episode with a different finale.
It crashed Netflix.
That's
people
how bad
expecting that it crashed Netflix.
It's like there's no way this was the ending. There's got to be a secret ending, right, guys?
Right.
Like that's how bad it was.
And I don't think you've even seen the ending yet, so I don't want to go into like spoilers and stuff. But to me, it's one of the biggest problems is why we're bringing this up is like the Duffer Brothers were like, oh yeah, we want to wait like years between projects. It's like, yeah, those are called movies, bro. Like not TV shows, especially when you have very young actors who are going to be growing up very quickly. They're in that time of their lives where it's like I look pretty much the same from 25 to 35, right? Like, you know,
but from 11 to 17
and facial hair, right? It's like, yeah, it's like kids grow up very fast, man, and look very different. It's like, no, y'all were stupid for that. And then they did all these, like, there's so many plot holes, and they're doing these interviews, and they're trying to like make up for, in my opinion, just bad writing and just neglect. And they're like, and then you had one of them like, oh, I didn't even want to do those interviews. Like, and they literally were like, can the audience just give me a break? It's like, no, you did this. This is your fault.
Or you didn't do this.
Or you didn't. Right. And to have to do interviews answering questions for plot holes is terrible. I'm sorry, but it is.
Yeah.
And I just think there's a lot of people out there that like it, and great.
And that's fine. That's why it's there. Enjoy it.
But I think
it could have been done better.
To me, I'm just like, how did you fumble it? Because to me, it's a fumble. I'm just like, how is it amazing every season and then finale's not good?
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with the argument. I suppose the ending argument, because we're at time. But there's no really great way to end anything. The ending of everything always sucks. You're always left wanting more. I can think of almost every show I've ever seen where it's like, I would want more, and ending sucks. Like, ending isn't supposed to be the best part, but this show specifically was written as like this big mystery, and the whole time you're waiting to find out something, and then there's like no like real answer to it. Like, what is the upside down? And like, what, like all of those questions weren't really answered, not properly.
It's hard, but there's some shows that do it well. Like, you and I watch New Girl. That ending's terrible. Parks and Rec is a good ending. The Office actually has a good ending.
The Office and Parks and Rec have some of the best endings in TV.
I will give it that. I'm trying to think like what
a satisfying ending. Like How I Met Your Mother, one of my greatest TV shows of all time. I'd say isn't that great of an ending. No, endings historically aren't that good.
In fact, most people. They did, the alternate ending, and most people say that's the real ending. Mm-hmm. But they did an alternate ending because the original ending was so terrible. Yeah. And that's kind of the curse of these long, successful series, specifically TV shows, I feel like. Friends has a good ending. So not that you would know about that.
I would not know about the Friends ending, so I'll take your word for it. It was almost as bad as the Pacific Rim ending. Which I don't remember. I don't remember what Pacific Rim's about. Big robots.
You watched the wrong movie. You watched a different movie than everybody else.
What do you mean? You're the dumbest boy in school.
Dumbest boy in school.
Oh my gosh. Well, there's so much. And honestly, I sit here. We try to keep these to an hour, guys. We're over. But there's just so much to talk about. And realistically, we are so passionate about it. I know a lot of the people in this community are passionate about it. That's why we have episodes weekly. And pretty exciting secret coming up in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah. I know.
I hope you know.
I do want to pose this though, because I've seen a couple comments asking like, "Hey, you guys should do more than one episode a week." Would you guys like that? Or is one enough? Because I mean, they're about an hour each time.
Yeah. How many hours?
We're trying to keep it at an hour because we know attention span is, these days is.
But I will say we've definitely seen people who are watching to the end. We've seen people who watch every week. We see new people every week. It's been awesome. We're excited to grow. This has been a really fun project. So yeah, definitely let us know if that's something people genuinely desire. And I guess we probably need to work on getting it on an actual podcast place, but we'll figure all that out too.
Yes. So if you made it this far, thank you. You're a champion. We love you. We love you 3000. Discord, and do we have anything? Discord link in the
and subscribe
comment, and be sure to subscribe. We're approaching 10,000, so tell a friend if they like this stuff, and catch you next week. Peace.